Hello and welcome everybody to another episode of Transform Your Practice, Transform Your Life. My name is Kristina Schneider. I'm a practice success coach here at a company called The Ultimate Estate Planner. And thank you so much for taking the time to tune into today's episode. This episode is specifically to the estate planning attorney. Are you charging enough? Well, what is enough? I'm not sure what enough is, but the important question I have to ask you is, have your expenses gone up over the last 5 years? If they have, like the rest of the world, they've gone year over year, right? I ask attorneys this all the time. Have your expenses gone up? They're like, oh yeah, definitely. 20%, 30%, 40%. But my next question for you is probably even more critical. Have your fees also gone up and have they adjusted accordingly? And for most attorneys, they have not. They have not looked at their fees for whatever reason, whether it's fear of people saying no or not being able to afford their fees or rejection, whatever it may be. I definitely know that there is low price competition out there. There's definitely the internet and do-it-yourself cheapy plans that are out there, but we're not competing with those people, right? We offer a very different service than those services do. And frankly, we need to dispel a common misconception amongst the public about estate planning documents and living trust lawyers, right? They oftentimes think that you are just a document preparer and that you're just filling in the blanks. I always talk to attorneys about this, but you are not, the producer of Mad Libs of estate planning. You're not just filling in the blanks. And this is a really important part of your process when you're working with prospective clients. You've got to be able to teach them and talk to them and really address some of their common misconceptions about estate planning and about the production of living trust documents. Yes, they are walking away with a product, which is a living trust document. But what they don't see is that they are receiving very much so expert counseling and guidance, which is huge. And that is really what you bring to the table. It is the reason why attorneys once were called counselors at law, and it's kind of an antiquated title for attorneys or lawyers, but you are providing guidance and counseling. It is not always very straightforward what you should do, especially in today's world when you've got definitely a lot of planning strategies to consider in blended family situations where spouses may have kids from a prior marriage or mutual kids together. Definitely where there are situations where you have special needs kids, you may have single people who have longtime domestic partners who aren't married and things like that. There's all kinds of situations. And all of these different situations require expert counseling and guidance. You also have additional costs associated with running your practice. That also includes your education and constantly staying on top of estate planning strategies that are coming out and the laws and the things that are impacting the planning strategies that you recommend to your clients. And another thing that you may not have even really thought of or considered is you are also taking on the liability. You're taking on the liability that the documents that you prepare are produced in a way that is accurate and correct to the discussions and the counseling that you've provided and to what the client has agreed to. And those are all the things that you bear when you are engaged by an estate planning client, and you just cannot do it at a low or cheap price. Phil and many other marketing experts will tell you you cannot get into a price war with your quote unquote competitors. If you are competing either on a local level or certainly with these cheapy options, it is a race to the bottom. And so you absolutely just need to find a way to express and discuss and teach your prospects about your unique service proposition and the value that you propose to them and that you present to them as an estate planning lawyer in today's society. I know that there's a lot of talk around AI and ChatGPT and all these other low price competitors coming into the field. But frankly, most people are, they haven't had to administer those plans that have been produced by these services just yet, right? Those come down the line, and then you begin to see when things actually work, which is when it's too late. And so you have a lot of opportunities here to really show the power of your human experience, customer service experience to the client, and again, your experience and expertise as well. So my recommendation to you, if you haven't increased your fees anytime recently is to just increase it by $250. I'm definitely not telling you to overnight double them, or you might be way under market charging for your services, but create an active plan this year to evaluate your fees. And one way to do that is just by incrementally increasing your fees, even by $250 once a quarter, until you begin to feel some resistance and you can kind of see some leveling off. Like the number of people that are saying no now might show you that you've priced yourself out of the range that you should be in, and you'll begin to find your sweet spot. But I will tell you, if you increase your plans by even $250 across the board, then for every 4 plans that you do, you've made another $1,000 to your bottom line. And so most estate planning attorneys that I come in contact with are definitely undercharging. I'm not telling you to be the most expensive in your area, but you definitely should not be the cheapest and the lowest. So that's what I have for you today. I hope that it helps you make your estate planning practice far more lucrative and far more financially successful on a monthly and annual basis. And so if you take this tip that we've given you today and you put it to practice, I promise you that you will begin to see the impact over time. If you would like some guidance on how to set your fees, we have instant download programs on our website at www.ultimateestateplanner.com. You can also set up a free strategy session with me to go over your pricing schedule and your pricing model. We can certainly talk a little bit about your pricing strategy for the year. I would love to chat with you. So you can definitely visit our website and book that free strategy session as well. So thank you so much for tuning in and taking the time out of your busy day to tune in today's episode. If you haven't subscribed to our podcast, make sure you do so you don't miss out on any of this great content. Thank you again, and I look forward to helping you continue to unlock your practice's potential. Goodbye, everyone.